Hey everybody, it's Anna and welcome back to my BookTube channel. This video is going to be my TBR for the Asian Readathon. That's a month-long readathon that goes for the entire month of May. It was created by Cindy from Reads with Cindy. I will go ahead and leave her announcement video down below, as well as all of the relevant links and fun info stuff for you to peruse if you would like to participate or learn more about that. So I want to go ahead and get into my TBR. I basically, since this is a month-long readathon, am going to tell you what the TBR challenges are, all of the books by Asian or Asian descended authors that I have on my shelves right now, and which challenges those will or will not fulfill, and we'll see how many of them I get to in May. Not going to put a ton of pressure on myself, but I will primarily be selecting my May reads from this TBR. So let's go ahead and do the challenges. So the first challenge is to read any book by an Asian author. So if I manage to even just start reading one, I will have completed that. 2 is to read a book featuring an Asian character or written by an Asian author who you can relate to. For example, if you're an immigrant, you can read about an immigrant character. If you're a woman, you can read a book by another woman, etc. Number 3 is to read a book featuring an Asian character or written by an Asian author who is different from you. For example, if you're straight, you can read about a queer character. If you're Japanese, you can read a book by a Vietnamese author, etc. And number 4 is read a book recommended by an Asian. Cindy has actually compiled this fantastic Asian Readathon master list spreadsheet of books that contains all sorts of recommendations. There's also a Google form where you can submit your own recommendations, so it is very easy to find a book recommended by an Asian person. Let's see. And then the optional challenge, 5th challenge, is to read Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng and participate in the Little Fires read-along and watch-along. So I have actually already read Little Fires Everywhere. It was one of my favorite books of 2018, which is when I read it, but I would love to do the watch-along if that works out with like time zones and schedules and all that good stuff. So there you have it. Here are the 7, the 7 books that I have that I will be choosing from. So let's go ahead and do Kindle books first. The first book that I have is In the Vanisher's Palace by Aliette de Bodard. I believe that this author is of Vietnamese descent, and this is a queer retelling of Beauty and the Beast. So we've got some similarities there with the queerness. I also have The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Nguyen Vo, which I just got recently and which I have been wanting to read, but now I think I'll let myself wait until May before I actually read it. And then the last one is Circus Girl, the Hunter, and Mirror Boy by J.Y. Yang. That book also fulfills the challenge for reading a book by an Asian author who's similar to me, because J.Y. Yang is also non-binary and also uses they/them pronouns. So 2 thumbs up for non-binary. Okay, and then we have a couple actually physical books. Most of these are older books that I got before the lockdown happened. One of them is a new book because it came via the mail from Book of the Month. So let's go ahead and do that. We have The Magnolia Sword, A Ballad of Mulan by Sherry Thomas. This is by a Chinese author who learned English as a second language and wrote this book in English. So I'm actually really curious to check that out because I'm always intrigued when people write in languages that are not their, native tongue, so to speak. And I also love the story of Mulan. I was introduced to her, like many Americans, I think, by the Disney movie, which is still my favorite Disney movie. I know it is not accurate to the Legend of Mulan, but it led me to the Legend of Mulan and, beginning to appreciate that. So I'm excited to get a different interpretation of that. We have Chinese Dance in the Vast Land and Beyond by Xiuming Li Cheng and Lin E. Fredrickson. Xiuming is actually a professor that I met at my sister's university, and we got to talking. She's a professor of classical Chinese dance, and I was really impressed by her scholarship and amazing fortitude and just all of the cool things that she's doing as an academic, so I bought her book. So we kind of have this little connection going on with the academia side of things, and also with the fact that I used to dance for many years. I still do. I mostly do it occasionally and for fun. She is obviously a professor and is way more steeped in the dance world than I am, but that's the similarity. Okay, we also have Dragon Pearl by Yoonha Lee. This is a Rick Riordan Presents book, and now I'm gradually making my way through the backlog of Rick Riordan Presents because I have not been keeping up with those, and I really should. I know that this book has like some sort of gender fluid, gender queer representation of the characters, which is why I bought it. I wanted to read it for Queer Lit Readathon over the summer last year, I think, but I didn't end up getting to it in time, probably because we moved apartments and I boxed up all of my books. So there you go. I want to read that for this readathon. Oh no. Books are falling off the shelves onto my hands and feet. No way. And then we also have The Library of Legends by Janie Chang. And this is a historical fiction novel about a bunch of people in China that are having to escape the Japanese bombing of the city of Nanking. And it is a story about people that are trying to rescue these priceless books from a library and the sort of connection that the real world historical people have with the characters from these myths and legends. That is totally my cup of tea, so I am very much looking forward to reading that and also doing the Little Fires watch along. Maybe I'll reread Little Fires Everywhere if I have time. I'm probably due for a reread of that soon anyway, because it's really good and needs to be read more than once, but we'll see if I have time. So that's gonna do it for the TBR for the Asian Readathon. I hope to see some of y'all that watch this video participating in it as well. Remember, if you are stuck at home and unable to access your normal outlets of books during quarantine, there are a lot of resources available to you that are online. A lot of libraries have ebook and downloadable audiobook lending available. Sometimes you don't even need to have a library card to get a hold of those. And if you are going to buy books, please do consider buying them from your local indie, whether that's from their website or someplace like IndieBound or bookshop.org, because they are being hurt by this lockdown. Their sales are being hurt, and the small business and like small book businesses are a really important part of these sort of wider bookish ecosystem. So if you like this video and you'd like to see more of what I do, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because that is the best way to get updates every time I post a new video. As always, thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!